Remember when I said earlier, I've never seen so many cowards and black men in this business? I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that.
We put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. Be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers.
We're not gonna be nobody's favorite, and we're going to miss out on a lot of the things that they're gonna get over there because we're not like them, and we don't do what they do. We're not willing to do the things they're willing to do.
It's only black people that do this to each other. I have never seen Jewish people complaining about Seinfeld. I've never seen Italian people complaining about The Sopranos. It's only us as that do this to each other.
You know how Katt Williams went on a rampage to expose the industry and his followers in that super viral Shannon Sharpe interview? Well, we all remember that he dropped some really heavy names, ranging anywhere from Turkish-Bathhouse-Lover P-Diddy to the alleged bottom feeder and industry plant Kevin Hart. There is one person he gunned for that stuck to our minds in particular, though, and that is the infamous Tyler Perry. Katt's throwing down some serious allegations, pointing fingers at Tyler, claiming he's ruining Hollywood by cutting off other artists. Apparently, he's been intentionally sabotaging the careers of his fellow brothers and sisters to stay on top, and Katt has got receipts to show for it. Not only that, but Katt reveals that he is in cahoots with none other than the queen of talk shows herself, Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, you heard that right, Oprah. And guess what? All of these accusations? Well, Tyler is not having any of it. I'm telling you, he is in full-on rage mode after Katt exposed his shady dealings with Oprah. Now, it's not like this is the first time these two have been called out. Artists left, right, and center have been dropping bombs on them, accusing them of joining forces to rain down havoc on the industry. We're talking heavyweights like Monique, 50 Cent, Ludacris, and even Dave Chappelle, all taking shots at Tyler and Oprah.
The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah, like I'm sitting around, you know, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on.
But here's the kicker, Tyler and Oprah, they're not exactly scrambling to defend themselves. Nope, they're just letting the rumors swirl, almost like they're reveling in the chaos they're accused of causing. In fact, they put the blame on others.
It's only us as that do this to each other. And I can't fix it. Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois did it.
But let's not forget about Katt, the man brave enough to stand up and call out the big shots. Sure, he's facing some serious skepticism. People aren't exactly lining up to buy what he's selling, but you gotta admire his guts. He's ready to spill all the beans and expose what he believes is a dirty little secret. Now, imagine if this whole thing is true. Tyler, with his entertainment empire, and Oprah, with her media mastery. Together, they'd be an unstoppable force. But if they're really using their power to squash other artists and manipulate the game, that's a whole different ball game. So fellas, what's your take on all this? Are Tyler and Oprah really pulling the strings behind the scenes? Or is it just another case of industry hearsay? One thing's for sure, this drama's got us all hooked, waiting to see what happens next in the wild world of showbiz. But wait, what did Katt say that has Tyler Perry so riled up now? Let's dive in. So, if you have been following up with Oprah and Tyler and their shenanigans, you'd know that these two are thick as thieves. Perry once talked about his tight-knit relationship with none other than the one and only Oprah Winfrey. And let me tell you, it's a bond that's a little too toxic. These two didn't just stumble upon each other by chance. Oprah took Perry under her wing when he was just starting out, and they've been an unstoppable force ever since. Now Oprah, with her unmatched influence, and Perry with his creative genius, have been teaming up like modern-day outlaws. But here's where it gets juicy. Rumors have been swirling that this dynamic duo isn't just collaborating on projects, they're allegedly wreaking havoc on the careers of other black artists who don't fall in line, including Taraji.
Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this?
There have been whispers in the industry that Perry and Oprah aren't afraid to flex their muscle and throw their weight around. Some say they've even been accused of blackballing the careers of those who dare to go against the grain. But hey, in their world, it's all about loyalty and power moves, right? Perry talks about Oprah like she's his ride or die, his partner in crime, who's always got his back. And with Oprah's wealth of knowledge and connections, it's no wonder Perry sees her as his ultimate mentor and confidant. And once you combine the power and privilege that both of these artists have, it wouldn't be hard for you to believe that they are in fact causing a lot of trouble for many other artists. Many people are starting to see who these two are.
Oprah's dangerous because Oprah and Tyler, because they've spent most of their lives with all this Black support.
Yes.
And now that they're filthy rich and they're at this point, this high point, they done switched up.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're starting to see the toxic stuff come out. And it's like, hold up, I've been supporting you all these years and this is who you really are?
Listen, once she...
Blindsided.
So, while many might see them as a dynamic duo, there are those who view them as something a little more sinister, a force to be reckoned with in the cutthroat world of showbiz. One person who has time and time spoken up about the horrible nature of these two, other than Katt Williams, is Monique.
Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do, and stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that, because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are.
From her headline-grabbing 2018 Breakfast Club interview that practically broke the internet to her viral opinions on Black women wearing bonnets in public, it's safe to say that this comedian knows how to stir the pot. And if there's one thing she's not afraid to do, it's shake the table. But you know what shook things up even more? Her decade-old declaration of war against none other than Tyler Perry. So, what's the beef between these two powerhouses? Well, buckle up, because it's a wild ride. Back in the day, this comedian didn't hold back when it came to calling out Perry. Whether it was about his filmmaking style, the portrayal of Black women in his movies, or his rise to fame in Hollywood, she wasn't afraid to throw some shade his way. Some say it all started with a few choice words from the comedian, sparking a feud that had tongues wagging in the entertainment industry. From there, things only escalated, with both sides taking shots at each other through interviews, social media, and even their work. Back in 2009, the world was introduced to the powerful film Precious, starring the incomparable Monique as the abusive mother, Mary Lee Johnston. Monique's portrayal was nothing short of breathtaking, earning her both a Golden Globe and an Academy Award the following year. But here's where the plot thickens. Behind the scenes, there was some serious tension brewing among the film's producers, none other than the powerhouse trio of Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry. As award season approached, Monique was asked to grace the prestigious Cannes Film Festival in France to promote the film. Sounds like a dream come true, right? Well, not quite. You see, Monique wasn't slated to be compensated for her appearance, as it wasn't part of her original contract. And for her, that was a deal breaker. Fans also agreed with her stance. One person wrote, "Yep, I agree with Monique. Tyler lets Meghan and Harry fly to the Bahamas on his jet, most likely for free and elsewhere, but cannot pay Monique to go to Cannes for the film festival to promote Precious. Don't like Tyler, don't like Oprah. I refuse to watch anything they do now." Despite the glitz and glamour of Cannes, Monique stood her ground and declined the invitation. It was a bold move, to say the least, but one that spoke volumes about her principles and values. Now, you might be wondering, why all the fuss over a film festival appearance? Well, it wasn't just about the money. It was about respect, recognition, and standing up for what's right. In the end, Monique's decision may have raised a few eyebrows, but it also sparked an important conversation about fair compensation and equality in the entertainment industry. And hey, if anyone can shake things up and demand to be heard, it's Monique.
8 years ago, I did a movie called Precious. And on that film, I received $50,000, and that was not my argument nor my fight, because that's what I signed up for.
And that is precisely what didn't sit right with Oprah and Perry. These two are used to having their say in the industry, and it was new for them to see someone stand up to them. Monique didn't mince words when she spoke up about her experience with Oprah and the industry. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she laid it all out on the table. "Oprah, I'm doing a talk show. I'm doing a comedy tour. I have a husband and I have babies. I have a little bit of downtime, and I'm going to take advantage of it, so I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part," she recounted.
When people said, "Monique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme?" You damn right. But isn't inequality extreme? So we've got to get to a place.
But it seems like speaking her truth came with consequences. Monique claims that shortly after asserting her boundaries and priorities, she found herself on the outside looking in. She believes she was blackballed from the industry, for simply being unwilling to compromise her values and priorities.
We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels, and I said no to Lionsgate. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. But none of y'all in real time was strong enough to go publicly and say, we can't throw our sister under the bus.
Fast forward to today, and Monique is still fighting for what she believes is just. She refuses to back down, demanding the recognition and respect she feels she deserves. One person wrote on X, Oprah and Tyler Perry are two people in Black Hollywood that scare me and would ruin my career over something small. Another person added, can't even look at either of them the same since that Monique Club Shay Shay interview. Tyler Perry is just a phony as Oprah. The saga between Monique and her industry peers took another twist when she revealed that while Lee Daniels had extended a public apology for his role in what she sees as the derailment of her career, Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry seemed less inclined to follow suit. According to Monique, tensions between her and Oprah escalated even further when the talk show Titan decided to bring Monique's family onto her show to discuss the comedian's experiences with childhood abuse. It's a move that Monique viewed as a breach of trust and a deepening of the rift between them. In a heart-wrenching turn of events, just a month after Monique took home the Oscar for her groundbreaking performance in Precious, Oprah Winfrey invited Monique's brother, Gerald Imes, onto her talk show. Now, this wasn't just any ordinary guest appearance. It was a deeply personal and emotional moment for Monique. You see, Monique had been vocal about her traumatic past, sharing with the world how her brother had molested her when she was just a child. So when Oprah reached out to Monique about having her brother on the show, it sparked a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. In her interview with Sharp, Monique recounted Oprah's call, where she was informed about her brother's desire to come forward, apologize for his actions, and educate others about identifying and preventing abuse. Oprah wanted to give Monique the opportunity to confront her past and perhaps find some closure in the process. Monique, torn between her pain and the possibility of redemption, made a difficult decision. She told Oprah that she wanted nothing to do with her brother personally, but recognized the importance of the message he could potentially convey. In a moment of grace, Monique agreed to let the show go on, hoping against hope that her brother had indeed changed for the better.
We get so caught in, well, that's not your place, but you see wrong happening, right? So when you see wrong happening, what you do? Do you just stand back and say, that ain't my business?
In that moment, Monique felt a glimmer of gratitude towards Oprah for extending the olive branch and giving her a platform to confront her demons. Little did she know that this gesture would only add fuel to the fire of their already strained relationship, further complicating an already tumultuous chapter in Monique's life. What started as a gesture of reconciliation quickly turned into a betrayal in Monique's eyes. As Monique watched television, she was blindsided by commercials featuring her own family members, her mother, father, and even her brother, who had once managed her career. These were the very people who knew the pain and fear she had endured at the hands of her brother, who was now slated to appear on Oprah's show.
With my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother. Now, the reason why that means so much is because in the conversation we had about my brother, we then went deeper. And we began to talk about our relationships with our mothers and our fathers. And I shared my relationship with her about my mother, as she shared hers with me, which I will never repeat because she shared it with me about her mother and father. It might be something she shared with everybody, but wanted to make me feel special. I don't know.
In a candid conversation with Sharp, Monique expressed her deep sense of betrayal, feeling as though Oprah had crossed a line by not informing her of the full extent of the show's lineup. "You betrayed me, sister," Monique declared, her pain and frustration palpable.
Nonetheless, it was in our moment. I shared with her that me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, "I'm gonna have your mother," I would have said, "Shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is. Shut that down." That's one of the reasons why we don't communicate.
Had Oprah been upfront about including Monique as family members, She insists she would have put a stop to it immediately. It was a betrayal of trust that cut deep. Insult to injury, Monique claimed that her family had initially approached Barbara Walters for the interview, but Walters refused out of respect for Monique's recent success. In Monique's eyes, it was yet another blow, a stark contrast to Oprah's decision to proceed with the controversial segment. When the storm of outrage erupted over the fallout between Monique and her industry counterparts, Tyler Perry found himself in the eye of the hurricane. Sensing the need for damage control, Perry reportedly took steps to mend fences and address the grievances aired by Monique. In a revealing 2022 interview with T.S. Madison, Monique disclosed that Tyler Perry had allegedly agreed to make a public admission of his wrongdoings and work towards reconciliation. It seemed like a glimmer of hope in the midst of a tumultuous saga. However, according to Monique, Perry ultimately reneged on his promise, leaving her feeling betrayed once again. But Monique didn't come empty-handed to this battle of words. She claims to possess an audio recording of their conversation, serving as concrete evidence to support her account of events. She even went on Shay recently and talked about how everything that Katt said is true, but part is that people see what she's on about. One person wrote, "And to this day, she is still seen as the villain, even with the proof to back her up. People want to hear your problems, but don't want to hold the people who cause those problems accountable. Tyler Perry and Fat Oprah." But if you think this was the only time the TV host made life difficult for black artists, you're in for a surprise. She, along with her boy Perry, have been aiming their focus on many different people time and time again. Recently it was Monique, but these two had also tried their best to mess with 50 Cent back in the day. In his tell-all book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, the rapper pulls back the curtain on his rocky relationship with the media mogul, revealing a clash of ideals that led to a bitter fallout. It all started with 50 Cent's desire to prove himself to his grandmother, a drive to showcase his success on none other than Oprah's talk show. Back then, he saw Oprah's platform as the ultimate validation of his journey from the streets to stardom. But instead of the warm embrace he hoped for, 50 Cent found himself in the crosshairs of Oprah's criticism. She publicly lambasted his lyrics as misogynist and condemned what she perceived as the glorification of gun violence in his music. For 50 Cent, it was a slap in the face, a rejection from someone he once admired and hoped to impress. In response, he made a deliberate choice to become Oprah's enemy, turning the tables on their once aspired relationship. "She was completely against everything that was in my music," Jackson told The Guardian, "so she ain't never gonna have me on that show. I'm never gonna reach that platform, which is confirmation of you being a huge success. So I just said, okay, if we can't be friends, then at least let's be enemies." In a surprising twist to the saga, 50 Cent, aka Curtis Jackson, took an unexpected turn in response to Oprah Winfrey's criticism. Rather than escalating the feud, he opted for a more unconventional approach, naming his dog after the esteemed talk show host. It was a move that raised eyebrows and sparked conversation, showcasing 50 Cent's trademark wit and penchant for stirring the pot. But the shock didn't end there. In a candid moment with the press, he didn't hold back, making a bold statement about Winfrey's fan base, which he described as exclusively elderly white women. Yet, despite the initial friction, 50 Cent revealed that he and Winfrey eventually forged a friendship. However, he remained steadfast in his belief that her condemnation of his lyrics missed the mark. In his eyes, his lyrics might be considered misogynistic, but they were a reflection of the world as he saw it, raw, unfiltered, and sometimes uncomfortable. As an artist, he challenged the notion of censorship, questioning why he should be restricted in expressing his truth. He has also called her out on the fact she, along with Tyler, has time and time again proved that they are not allies of the community and instead do their best to make the lives of black artists as hard as they can. You know 50 Cent, never one to shy away from speaking his mind, especially when it comes to calling out what he sees as unfair treatment. So, when he noticed Oprah Winfrey seemingly singling out black male stars over allegations, he didn't hold back. He took to Instagram, as he often does, to air his grievances. Alongside a pic of Oprah and Russell Simmons, he basically asked, "What gives?" He pointed out that Oprah wasn't shining her spotlight on the likes of Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein, who faced similar accusations. Nope, instead, it was guys like Michael Jackson and Russell Simmons getting the documentary treatment. In classic 50 Cent style, he didn't beat around the bush. He straight up said, "This stuff is sad." He called out the documentaries, saying they were practically convicting these guys in the court of public opinion without giving them a fair shake. Seems like 50 Cent isn't the only one feeling some type of way about Oprah. Ludacris, aka Chris Bridges, joined the chorus of voices speaking out against the media mogul. In a candid interview with GQ magazine, Ludacris didn't hold back, describing Oprah's behavior as unfair during a show he appeared on last October alongside his co-stars from the movie Crash, which snagged the Best Picture Oscar. According to Ludacris, Oprah was quick to edit out a lot of his comments while keeping her own front and center. He felt particularly frustrated because they were discussing racial discrimination, a topic close to his heart, yet he felt like his voice wasn't being given the same weight as Oprah's. These one-time things got seriously heated on Oprah's show. When Oprah and Don Cheadle started squaring off over the use of the N-word, it set the stage for a debate that was bound to get intense. And then, in the midst of it all, Terrence Howard chimed in, making it clear that he steers clear of using the word himself. Oprah, never one to shy away from tackling tough topics, turned to Ludacris and asked him if he'd consider dropping the N-bomb too. Caught off guard, Ludacris found himself in a tough spot, squirming a bit before ultimately siding with Cheadle. But just when you thought the tension couldn't get any thicker, Sandra Bullock stepped into the ring, asking Ludacris to cut out words like b*** and hoe from his vocabulary. Well, let's just say that suggestion didn't go over too smoothly. Ludacris pushed back, pointing out that he'd stopped using those words when women stopped referring to themselves with them. The crowd erupted, and things went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Basically, she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie. And of course, I was up there with the whole cast of Crash. And so I didn't necessarily felt like that needed to be said. You know, you didn't agree with my music.
He said, "I don't see why people like Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, who I am huge fans of, it's okay for them to go on Oprah. They speak the same language as I do, but they do it through comedy, so I guess that's acceptable." He also added that instead of giving her a safe space as a black artist to express himself, she made him feel unwelcome. He said, "What I got was that by having rappers on her show, she feels like she is empowering them. It was like being at someone's house who doesn't really want you there." In a marathon appearance on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast, Katt took aim at a laundry list of comedians and entertainers, airing out his personal grievances and criticisms for nearly 3 hours straight. No one was safe from Katt's verbal onslaught. Not even heavyweights like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Kevin Hart, and even P-Diddy found themselves in the firing line. But perhaps the most explosive revelation came when Katt called out Tyler Perry, accusing him of being Oprah Winfrey's lapdog and essentially doing her bidding. Yep, you heard that right. According to Katt, Perry is allegedly taking orders from Oprah, marching to the beat of her drum without question.
I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit.
You know how the grapevine works in Hollywood. Once one juicy rumor starts, it spreads like wildfire. And right now, all the chatter is about Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey teaming up and allegedly giving black artists a rough time on their movie sets. Whispers of Perry and Oprah calling the shots behind closed doors, with black artists bearing the brunt of harsh working conditions. We're talking long hours, low pay, and creative constraints that stifle their voices. One fan wrote, "I believe this 100%. Taraji even said producers gave the cast rental cars and made them drive through ATL traffic themselves to get to set. They treated their cast of black people like scum. So what do you think? Was Katt Williams right to call out Tyler Perry like that? Or did he go a bit overboard? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.